Limp Bizkit has another new song from Stampede of the Disco Elephants, which is apparently coming soon, considering they have some form of artwork that is being showcased here, and it's pretty ridiculous. But it's also one where it's not like this strange concept that is not even referenced at all. It's pretty direct. So, Endless Slaughter. We need to talk about this song because really the general perception thus far is that this has been an endless slaughter to their eardrums. Wow. Well, there's one thing I'm going to say right off of the bat. I've seen music evolution before whenever it comes to a lot of bands, but I've never ever seen so much musical and purely musical evolution in one band through one song in a long fucking time. In fact, it may never have ever happened in my career as a reviewer and music listener. Really, let's just go with my lifetime. That spans a couple decades, so that's a real accomplishment. But then again, if you remember my review of Gold Cobra, which you should, considering it was only a couple of years ago, and y'all have better memories than I do, I'm sure, you know that I was already praising the fact that the band seemed to be making some positive leaps and bounds, at least on a musical level. It didn't help that, it really didn't help that Fred Durst was still continuing to act like he was a 14-year-old, you know, and still trying to fight off the bullies in high school, or maybe he's still in junior high school because he failed a couple of years for being a poor fucking lyric writer, but who cares? That didn't exactly help. It really held the rest of the product back, but that's something that's continuing on this track. Endless Slaughter actually showcases 3 different styles, and it's something that happens in what feels like 3 different songs. Almost as though Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit just decided that they were going to look at a lot of the other music out there, and they stumbled upon an old vinyl copy of 2112, perhaps in one of their father's or grandfather's attics, and saw that the main song had multiple parts, and they thought, well, shit, we should do that. That seems like it'd be really fucking easy. Instead of writing one song, we could just write, you know, parts of 6, and there you go, we have a fucking song. And it's really long, and it takes up a lot of space, and we can get back to doing nothing. Yeah. Kind of what it sounds like they did. First part of this song is kind of just garbled nonsense. You have a basic riff pattern that's going underneath of Fred's just psychobabble is what it feels like at some points in time. He's rapping, he's growling, he's singing, he's kind of doing just a little bit of everything. And this is something where it almost seems like he's attempting to rekindle some of the old romances of $3 Bill Y'all, Significant Other, and also try to modernize it with elements of Gold Cobra, at least from a very lyrical and a vocal standpoint. He's also trying to add some new tricks in there, but the whole thing just comes off as a garbled, befuckled mess. And yes, befuckled is now a new word. It's now in my dictionary. It should be in yours. Add it. Write it in with a little pen. It'll be fine. But it's definitely true. It doesn't feel like it has any real sense of purpose. It just kind of lollygags there, and at times, even though he's kind of jumping from one style to the next, it still feels lazy somehow. It feels as though that Fred Durst has been immortally affected by being around Lil Wayne. Like, whenever they did Ready to Go, Lil Wayne exposed Fred Durst as scissor, but now all of a sudden Fred Durst is like a scissor junkie, and it's affecting his performances. And why do I say that? Because it's not only something that's affected here in part 1 of the song. The second part of the song definitely feels like it's taking a more rearranged route, kind of chilling things out, calming things down. And then Fred chimes in with a voice that makes me think of what would happen if Ozzy Osbourne in the 1970s, at the height of the Black Sabbathness that we all know here on this channel and in metal history, and just decided to infuse scissor, as though he went back in time. Remember that DeLorean we talked about in a prior video? Remember that Back to the Future reference? I'm making it again. It's almost as though they took a DeLorean back there, they gave it to Ozzy Osbourne, Ozzy passed the fuck out, so Fred was just like, well, let me show you how it's done, and I'm gonna make fun of you in the process, you little pussy. And so he did it, and this is what we get. We get part 2 of Endless Slaughter, vocally by Fred Durst, which sounds ridiculous. It sounds retarded, and it's not one that really sets up anything aside from going into a transition that sounds like perhaps some jarbled noise, maybe of the scanning of a radio dial, though it's being done more so with like a synth or maybe the scratches or the guitar. It doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. It would have been better. It would have been better. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it. It would have been better had they actually sampled in somebody scanning a radio dial. It would have been more cohesive. It would have made more sense because it's like 3 different songs, like being on 3 different stations. And then we get into part 3. Part 3 is the meat and potatoes of the song as far as I go. Because for all the things that I could say about Fred Durst, for all the ways in which I can make fun of him, call him an eternal 14-year-old pussy, call him a high school dipshit, call him the immortal crown jester of the bros, the one thing I must admit about the gent is that whenever it comes to delivery of rhyming, whenever it comes to delivery of raps, Fred Durst actually has ability. He has style, he has flow, he actually has the ability to craft these rhymes, though they're not lyrically all of that impressive. But he has the ability to deliver them with a strong cadence, with a strong presence, and really it's something that comes off as very listenable. Like I said, lyrically speaking, it isn't the best. And really, even from Fred's narrow-minded body of work, it's really not the best of his work. It's something that's really affected by, very narrow-minded lyricism and wordplay. Something that really, whenever you get into a tight spot as a writer, you look at something obvious and you throw it in there. Usually, as a writer, you throw it in there until you come up with something that's a little bit better. Either that or you just rework the entire line. That way it flows a little bit more cohesively and at the same time doesn't sound conceptually flimsy or conceptually trite. But instead, he just opted to just keep whatever he put in there, and have it maintain itself, and believe it was a good idea. And once again, all of this is happening while it's all happening while he is overshadowing what is by far the best case of music evolution for Limp Bizkit ever. Period. A track that actually, whenever it comes to the musical background, would be fantastic for a lot of other bands, is actually ruined by the fact that Fred Durst is on this. Fans are going to tell me, well, let's see you do better. Let's see you actually do it, motherfucker. That's such a stupid fucking argument. First off, do I look like Fred Durst? Do I look like I can call up Limp Bizkit and just be like, hey guys, I can do your song better, so why don't you bring the boys over? Fred, you can just stand over in the corner and talk to the corner and watch me fucking destroy your stupid ass with my ability. And you think they're actually gonna be like, alright, let's see this happen, motherfucker, and then have it happen? That's not going to occur. That is physically impossible. Well, okay, not physically impossible, but conceptually impossible, because they have much more important things to do. Like drink scissor with Lil Wayne, or go fucking play with kids, or whatever freaking Limp Bizkit does. It's a stupid argument. Don't make that argument. Do I understand that Fred Durst is doing a lot of different things vocally in this song, and that should be impressive enough? Yeah, I get that. I'm acknowledging that. But I'm also acknowledging that you have to have substance around what's going on. You can't just be impressed with the fact that he's doing 27 different vocal styles. I can do that too. Here, watch. Are you impressed? You should be. I said nothing, but you should be impressed because I did it, goddammit. That's not enough. That is not enough. What you do with it needs to be what the point is. And the point of this is the fact that he didn't do enough with it. He didn't take all of that impressive ability and actually wrap anything, all of that great surrounding it. This is a track that is plagued by the fact that Fred Durst is on it. Because musically, it's pretty damn good. And really, whenever you consider the abilities that are showcased, not bad either. But his lyricism, his delivery, the fact that he seems lazy, the fact that he seems like he's disinterested, everything is just brought down to a screeching halt, and actually now has thrown the vehicle of musical evolution in reverse and has slammed into the brick wall that it just got finished fucking recovering from. Fuck this song. Can't wait for the album, because I'm going to tear that piece of shit apart too.